out of the ground here on first down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Well, certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. And that is incomplete. Well, that's not the way you want to start a first pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 15 more yards there, and quickly another first down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. The Chiefs at 2-0 here to begin the season. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. So first. Decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
They'll run up the middle with McAllister, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. This defense for the Chiefs, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's what you would consider a goal for each and every defense, because if you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team because you expect your offense to score more than that. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course, but I'd have to say a very solid performance.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. From the gun, it's Wilson. And the Chiefs are going to get him. That was Justin Reed, the safety, who got to the quarterback. Fourth down, Corliss Waitman now on to punt. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Returning it, here's Hamler. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
A huge play there for Denver. 47 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They'll run for it here with McAllister. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, at these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
On the give, McAllister with it. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
On 3rd down, they'll run it with McAllister. No gain on the play, and what to do now on 4th and goal. No score after 1 on EA Sports. To the 2-yard line. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And the ball's going to be going back to the Chiefs. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. In his own end zone, it's Mahomes. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run and everyone else stays ready.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great play there. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. McManus's point after is good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They go play fake. Mahomes. Escaping the pressure right. And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But, Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A handoff to McAllister. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. This offense so far on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 11. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
The kick by McManus is good. But for almost 8 years, 64 stood as the NFL record for the longest field goal. That has since been eclipsed. It's now 66, but still 64-yarder. Pretty impressive, CD.
Absolutely agree with that, because if you drill a 60-yarder in an NFL game, you've got a lot to be proud of, record or no record. And only a handful of guys can even attempt it. Excellent job there, putting that one through the pipes.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Randy Gregory. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush, because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Back to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question, because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's mentally tough enough to have a chance to turn it around. Or is he a guy that maybe you've seen enough and it's time to go to the backup? But right now what you're rooting for is your defense to help keep you in the game, to give him an opportunity to get back on track.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. This is McAllister. And he'll take this close to a first down at the Chiefs' 21. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Running right, here's McAllister. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A great effort there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Takes it to about the 37.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Down to about the 32.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
On 2nd and 7, Mahomes caught Kelce left side. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. And this offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
To try again after the sack. Mahomes. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Caden Stearns. And the Broncos are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And he'll be out right at the 35. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
From the 44, Wilson. He'll go up top here for Hamler, and it's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick, and the Chiefs are going to have it here at their own 15. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And Mahomes picking up the first as he slides and hits the deck. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It'll be the Chiefs football to begin quarter number 3, and they trail here as we are back underway now on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Michael O.J. Mudia. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. That one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. You come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Jerry Jeudy, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. McManus's point after is good, and the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now here's Mahomes. He's going to float this one deep right side. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores. But, yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And, look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. So that, Charles, maybe the play that this defense has been looking for.
They've hung in there, and if they lose this game, it won't be from a lack of effort on their part. The key question is, can the offense finally do something? Because we're into the third quarter, and a 0 is still glowing on the scoreboard.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Touchdown! Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. So that, Charles, their first score of the ball game, obviously, coming here in the third quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
And he's going to get in for the score, and the lead now cut to 14. It's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a two-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the two-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples throughout a ball game. There's a great example right there.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe, because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was total.
And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Off-play action. Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one, because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, it's a good start.
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Mahomes hit. He lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Now Mahomes. And now here's another interception. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. Open man downfield is Judy. He's got it. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Running their plays over and over during the week can often get robotic for an offense, but on game day they can often flow smoothly, as that one just did.
This will be caught. Judy. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. To throw is Wilson. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Wilson. This will be caught at about the 5. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal. So it's 3rd and goal now. This is where the KC crowd can make it very tough. On 3rd and goal, Wilson. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Albert O, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Broncos will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point from McManus is good. And that pushes the lead up to 23. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing now is Mahomes. And that will be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's the Chiefs punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Hamler now on the return. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the second half at FedEx Field now. And very little issue in that one for Washington, opening their lead a bit further. Here's Wilson. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. A gain of 8 there on the play, and it'll be 2nd and a couple. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL. Second and 2.
We go, 36 power. Let's look double count right here, double count.
Play action. It's Wilson. Completes the pass to Judy on the crossing pattern. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards the pickup there. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Now it's Wilson. Looking sideline, incomplete. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now it's Wilson. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 14 yards that time for number 14.
Sometimes it's design, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Chiefs will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of it. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Here's Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover it before he gets going.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Now Wilson. And this is incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference to see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier. He wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do. I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he's fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them.
And now here is another interception. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, just another reason to celebrate there on the defensive side with the interception, and this is a game that they clearly have firmly in their grasp.
Yeah, a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles. It's been their day.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. And the Chiefs are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. Boy, they get him yet again, Charles. 5 interceptions in this game. You rarely see this, maybe a couple of times in a season, but this defense, they've been fantastic.
It's certainly an example of watching a defense that is in the zone. Right, we use that term so often, but most of the time, it's for people who are on offense. In this case, it's the defense as a whole.
He's got him in, complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Patrick Mahomes, he can do everything seemingly, and that time he just reared back and let it fly. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And Mahomes picking up the first as he slides and hits the deck. Mahomes now on 1st down. And now here's another interception. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. Facing this 4th quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left.
14, run it.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to look deep down the field. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Pat Surtain.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away. They stuck it in the end zone. Keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run with Deuce McAllister. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I can be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Good foot. Hey, work. Let that. Go.
Here's Wilson to throw. Flushed out right. And he'll just get rid of it. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Taking it about the 1. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are...
He's got a man, complete, and in for the Chiefs touchdown. Nicole Hardman, 53 yards, and the Chiefs are able to cut into that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
And he is not going to get in here. So the decision to go for two does not pay off as they're unable to cut any further into their deficit. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. Still 9 remaining on second down. Wilson wants to throw it. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception. Greedy Williams picks it off. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 41. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best. But these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles. And a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along. But if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And my goodness, another interception. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Chiefs are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah.
It's Ty Detmer. He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what color jerseys his team's wearing in this one?
I don't know. It has not been good. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football